backing in the congressional race and why?
Okay, I'm backing Jeff Andrew. I was tax collector for 31 years with the township, and then 22 years of that was concurrently as municipal clerk, township clerk. And I first met Jeff Andrew when he was passing out flyers up at the Millville Pathmark to run for the assembly seat in Trenton. And to be quite frank, he was a Democrat, I was a Republican at the time, but we just hit it off. And Jeff is a man of his word. If he tells you he's going to do something, he's going to do something within his power. Now, obviously, other factors may come into play that obviates him doing what he wants to do, but he's been so supportive of Morris River Township. Quite frank, I've never met Amy Kennedy. I'm sure she's a nice lady, but I'm totally in Jeff Andrews' camp. The main thing Jeff has done for us lately is he is working closely with the Army Corps of Engineers to dredge the Morris River. The Morris River is the lifeblood of Morris River Township. We go upstream, upriver. There are a number of marinas, boat building facilities. Our lifeblood is on the Morris River. We have people, work crabbers, run their boats out of there, either crabbing in the bay, in the river, fishermen, marinas, the boat industry. Of course, boating industry is kind of down the tube until the virus has been, conquered. But still in all, Jeff has and will be playing a big part in helping us get the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to dredge the Morris River, because right now it's about 7 feet channel. And for our industries to have any kind of significance, we really need it dredged maybe 10 or 11 feet minimum. 14 would be ideal, but that's wishful thinking. One thing we have, we're reconstituting some of the vacant land along Morris River for shipbuilding industries. I don't know if you know what Phil Risco or not. He owns North Star, also owns Seatow. He just bought 100 acres down in Center City, Leesburg, along the Morris River. He has a lot of riverfront property there. He is going to be building a facility which will probably compete with Yank Marine, which is about 2 miles up there.
Mayor, sorry,
Yank
Marine,
which is about 2 miles up the street in Center City, Dorchester. Phil does a lot of work with the offshore wind energy firms, with Ørsted. And the idea is now that Murphy tentatively has sanctioned a port to be built near Artificial Island, this is a natural. If Phil can get his enterprise going, it's not that far from here to Salem, and we could be a very prominent factor in supplying, repairing services for the offshore wind industry ultimately.
And you believe that the congressman has the experience, the preparation, the institutional knowledge to help see this through to completion?
Yeah. He knows. He's been around the block several times. He's been there. Whereas Amy, and I'm sure she's a very nice woman, but she's new. And to be quite frank, when you get into these situations where you're probably the better part of the industry depends on the riverine traffic and the status of the river, you don't have time to break somebody else doing. And we need somebody hitting the ground running, and that's Jeff Andrew.
You mentioned that you were a Republican. Could you describe to me the circumstances around which you changed parties, and have you reached a juncture again where you feel that the Democratic Party is not to your liking?
That's a loaded question. How much film do you have? Okay, I've been a Republican, was a Republican for all my life, except for about 6 years ago. Our former, he was an ex-Marine too, our former mayor, Jack Wood, is probably the best mayor we've ever had. He was mayor for many, many, many years. And about 6 years ago, he said, Roy says, how do you think about running for township committee? I said, well, I would love it. I mean, I've got the municipal background for it. I was the township clerk for 22 years and tax collector for 31 years. And I know a little bit about municipal law and know how to run a township. I said, well, he says, if you run, he says, you got to run as a Democrat. And at that time, the Democrats were the prevailing party in Morris River Township. So I said, it's not a big leap because, like I said, down here, you really don't care who they are. I half of them are related to you anyway, you
Right.
know. So, you know, what's the big deal?
Are you from here originally?
Well, actually, I was born and raised in Millville. My wife was from Leesburg. My
Okay.
mother was born in Leesburg. My family dates back to Port Elizabeth back in 1750. So my roots are in Morrisville Township. In fact, my great-great-grandfather was the judge of Morrisville Township back during the Civil War days. So, to get back to your question, so I became a Democrat to run the Township Committee. And like I said, the Democrats are always good to me, even though I was a Republican tax collector, Republican township clerk, they always treated me fair. And I thought the least I could do is, you know, help out the township. My first love is the township, and I love this township. And anything I can do, I don't care what the party is, anything I can do to you know, support it and enhance it, I'm all for it. You know?
What's been your response to President Trump, Jeff Van Drew's decision not to support impeachment, and the repercussions here? You think? What's your reaction to all of that, Mayor?
Well, I'm quite frank, this country's in bad shape. And when I look at Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Nadler, Jerry Nadler,
Right.
I just shake my head. I mean, I just can't believe these people. I know where their heads are, you know. I mean, I'm a Trumper, you know. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Trumper,
Yep.
and I'm not a Trump does what he says, and he said, I'm a former combat veteran from Vietnam. He's done more for the vets in 47 months than Joe Biden and Barack Obama did, you know, in all their tenure. So, if for nothing else, just the fact that he's been very, very supportive of the veterans of this country, I'm 100%